Okay, we're starting today halachas of Pesach. So we're going to start with the halacha in Siman Tov Nun Sif Vov. It says like this: Mutar loymar le'eved bePesach heilach dinar zeh ukne ve'echal. You're allowed to tell those days it was a slave, but today that would be even somebody that works for you, and you buy for him lunch. So on Pesach, you're allowed to tell him, here is money, and go buy for yourself food.
It's not Jewish, correct?
Obviously. Yeah. So even, yeah. Even though you know he's going to go buy chomets. So since, because there's no problem that it's your chomets, all you're giving him money to buy lunch, and if he wants to buy chomets, you're allowed to do it. Yeah. It says, but you're not allowed to tell him, go to eat, meaning, and the Mogen Avram adds, go to eat chomets. Clearly, let's say telling him, go buy pizza, have your lunch, and I'm going to pay for it. That you're not allowed to do, because it sounds like you're owning the pizza, you're giving him your own pizza, and you're not allowed to own chomets on Pesach. So, v'yesh matirim gam bezeh, because even when you tell him to go eat pizza, you don't mean you're going to own it, you mean you're just going to pay for it. Elam can higdim dinner reshnosav v'nosan b'yad, unless you gave the pizza shop before Pesach, gave them money for all the pizzas they're going to buy during Pesach. It looks like you buying the chomets, then you paying without chomets to your workers for their lunch, or you mamish picking up for them a pizza on Chol HaMoed. That you're not allowed to do. But Lamaisa, the idea over here, you cannot do under any shape and form owning a chomets, even that you don't mean to eat it. You want to give it to your workers. But if you basically telling him, here is money for you, and buy what you want, you could, he wants to buy a pizza, you know he's going to buy the pizza, so you don't own that chomets, you're allowed to do it. Now this halacha also goes further. First of all, the Ramos says, "V'osur liknas chomets la'akum b'Pesach, afil v'moitzav shel akum." Let's say the other way around. You're a manager of a company. The owner is a goy, and he tells you, "Go get for all the workers pizza," or he tells you, "Go buy for me something," and it's chomets. He says, "V'osur liknas chomets la'akum." You cannot buy chomets even for the goy. Afilu b'moitzav shel akum. Even he gives you the money, so you don't own it. It's his money. He owns it. It's osur. Now, the reason for it, why it's osur, it's not my chomets. It says, you're allowed to have a chomets of akum if you're not the owner. So what's the problem? So the Mogen Avram says, the reason number one, en shlichus la'akum. The goy doesn't make you a shliach. Basically, if there's the whole halachas of shlichus not shaykh, you cannot make him your shliach, you cannot become his shliach. Memela, who buys it right now? You buying it. Later on, you're delivering it to him. Memela, when you're buying it, it's your chomets. You're not allowed to own a chomet. That's one reason. The second reason, we spoke about the shiur. If somebody, you might eat from it. Lamashal today would be very practical if somebody worked for those companies that deliver food. We already had a shiur on this. If you know for sure you're going to deliver over there, treifas, we said already, it's also to work for this company. Something over here would be, if you work for Uber or Dash or whatever other the company that deliver food, and you know you're going to deliver chomets on Pesach. Besides that, en shlichus la'akum, it's like you're owning it. And besides this problem, which is you could argue on this one, but over here, shema yoichal, you have a chomets in front of you, you might eat it, or other isurim. That's why. So you cannot. Anybody that works for this company, the whole year is a problem, especially on Pesach. It's a Chol HaMoed. Pesach, it's a problem because the chashash is if you're going to deal with chomets, you might eat from it. Okay, so that's again. So you're not allowed to.
From the chomets, lose his job.
Oh, so we already spoke about this then. Lamashal, it's possible you're going to come to eat from it because, for example, they told me then if there is a cancellation, many times they tell you just keep the product. So then there's a real chashash, you might eat it if you keep it. Anyway, and then there's another halachas come from this. That's what the Mogen Avram brings. If you have a baby in the house and he needs to eat chomets, for obviously we're talking about when he needs it. I mean, you're not going to go to give him chomets if he doesn't need it. He needs it for his health to have chomets, the baby. He says, Mutar lemar la'akum ten lishtos chomets v'ani pareya. You're allowed to tell a goy, go ahead, give my baby chomets and I'll pay you for it. Again, we're not talking about b'shas sakana. Shas sakana, you're allowed to give it to him, as he's going to say himself. We're talking about when it's not sakana, but he needs it for his food. Again, the whole problem is the baby is not mechuyav to keep chomets yet. He's not bar mitzvah yet. Mitzat chinuch, we're talking about baby that's not even mitzat chinuch, have to do it. And he needs it. There's nothing else you could give him, so you could tell the goy, so you don't own it. Because you're telling him, give it to him, it's yours and I'm going to pay you for it after the baby already ate the chomets, you pay him, so you don't own the chomets. That's not called that you have benefit from the chomets, because that's not considered to be hanoi, it says, because again, we're talking about when the baby needs it. And it says furthermore, let's say we're talking about such a worker, that you have to feed them part of the pay. Some people have such a thing. He says, I'll pay you lunch besides what I pay you. And he says, and even over there, you're allowed to do it. So how much more, he says over here. Whether it's for the goy, whether it's for your baby, even it's a necessity for him, the chomets now, you cannot hold the chomets for the same idea, you might eat from it. Now, obviously, if there's somebody, a choyle shesh bo sakana, he needs to eat chomets, you could even give it to him with your own hand, because that's it's above everything. So, Lamaisa, what we will learn from here, that you have to be careful. There's a lot of details. How could you say to the worker to buy, not to buy? So the Alter Rebbe brings, says like this. You can go to the details. Says like this. Holds them ikar adin. Aval yesh omrim, I'm from the Alter Rebbe. Shemachmas chumras Pesach, chumras chomets. Yesh lahachmesh lo loyma lo nochid bepesach knelcha chomets menachanvoni vani efraloi. Mitzad ikar adin, some argue you could tell the guy, go buy chomets and I pay for it. Go buy yourself a pizza. I'll call the store, I'll pay for it. You may be allowed to do it because you're not owning the chomets, especially after he ate it. Chomets is not here over here. But he says, Mitzad chumras Pesach, we don't even do this. Definitely don't say that the owner of the store, you give him a pizza and I'll pay for it, because that sounds like you're owning that pizza. Again, even though you could argue halachically that Mitzad chumras chomets, but tov lochush ledivreim. So, now, giving him money to the worker, he's going to go buy his own pizza, that's not your problem. He could buy whatever he wants. But any other forms that you make, it might look, you the owner of the chomets, that you don't do. And for a baby, some even say, try to keep the chomets out of your reshus. If you need to feed the baby, maybe take him to the house of the goy. But even then, if you have no choice, you could keep that chomets. Again, we're talking about b'shas hatzoyrech, when you have nothing else to give him to eat. Then you could bring the chomets at home, so they recommend to put the chomets where you sold the chomets, on the mechitza in front of that chomets, but al koponim, there is ways you could give to a baby a chomets through the goy, and as far as delivering food for a goy on Pesach, any chomets, that you're not allowed to do.